Hello, everybody. It looks like I am live. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I am talking about moving forward. I'm talking about how good this life can be. I'm talking about how to move forward when you have gone through tough times. And so, one of the things as a spiritual development coach that I love to talk to my people about is how to open up your intuitive gifts and how to open up to your intuition, how to really learn how to trust God, universe, source, whatever you call him, her, or them. Apologize, y'all. I was connecting to TikTok as well. So anyway, so I'm super excited and grateful to be here. And I wanted to just come on just for a couple of minutes tonight and talk about moving forward. And particularly in a situation where you are in a breakup or in a divorce situation, because, we all know that most are the same. Like typically, if you are in a situation where you for a long time, it's difficult to imagine that, it's time to move on. And so if you're coming on TikTok, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you are tapping that screen like this, giving me some of those likes. But I wanted to really dive in and talk about, how I got over, because I can actually talk about that and share, because I actually am not only a child of divorce, but I'm also a product of divorce. And so typically, as we move forward in our life and we go through, hey, Tiffany, thank you for joining. We go through so many things, we can go a whole lot of different ways. So, like, you can go and you can get to a place where you are bitter and you are upset, and, all these things are happening to you instead of things happening for you. And so, one of the things that I want to share is that a lot of times it's your perspective. And sometimes what you need to do is you need to change your perspective on the situation. When I think about divorce, I think about the fact that I was able to spend some time with this amazing human that I was married to. Hey, Mariah, thank you for joining. But I was able to spend some time with this amazing human that helped me to co-create these children that we did. And so that really is how I look at that situation. And I think about, that there were some good times in it. It was some good times. It was not, it was not always bad. And many times when we get out of relationships and we go through divorce and all this stuff, everybody thinks about all the bad stuff. And so, what I want to challenge you to do today is, if you are in that situation or you've been in that situation, to start to shift your perspective and change and think about the good things and the good times. One of the things I did was I wrote down a lot of the good times that we had. And I actually talked to my kids about that. And I was like, remember when we, went to Six Flags, when we went to the beach, when we did this, when we moved here, because those are things that were good times for us. And so as you're, recovering and healing, because here's the thing, if you don't recover and heal, then you will get the same person. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the energy in the people will be the same, because you will attract that same type of energy. And also, if you are focused on that, if you're always focusing on the negative and all the bad shit that happened, then what you think you're going to get? Law of attraction, y'all. You're going to get bad shit that happens. And when you start really thinking about, how life happens for you and not to you, then things will start to shift in your life. And it may be just small shifts, little shifts. It may be, but still a shift is a shift. And so typically you want to begin to Focus on, all the good times, all the good things, all the stuff, and not so much of the bad, negative things. You kind of want to really get yourself to a place where, it's all good, where it was you can look at some good things. And then as you start to really begin to heal. Now, one of the things that I did was when we were divorcing, I didn't date for like a year. Now, I'm not encouraging people to do that, but I am saying that you need to take some time, because here's the thing, what I notice. So many people, they get out of relationships and they get out of these spaces. And then what they do is they start to actually go out and get the same thing that they had, the same energy. Because what happens is you have this attraction, and it could be a physical attraction. It could be a mental attraction. It could be any kind of attraction, but whatever it is, this is what you're attracted to. And so that way you go out and you get that same thing, even if it wasn't a good thing, And I would love it if you guys would tap the screen on TikTok and share this live out, so that more people can get a chance to witness this and get this knowledge and this wisdom that I'm spitting right now. And so I'm typically, at a space where I took that time and I just did nothing. I actually did whatever I wanted to do. I did stuff that felt good to me. I did stuff that I had always wanted to do. I took myself on dates, took myself to the movies by myself. And people say, oh, I can't go to the movies by myself. But you can watch a movie at your house by yourself. So what difference does it make? At least when you go out to the movies, you go and you get some popcorn and you have some popcorn. So what I did was I treated myself like I wanted someone else to treat me. That sense. I treated myself like I wanted someone else to treat me. I went and I got my nails done, and now I do it myself. But I got my nails done. I get my hair done. I took care of myself. I bought me nice clothes and I bought nice jewelry for myself. I did things that I loved, and so that was one of the things that I encourage you to do if you are in, or if you've been through a breakup, is to really begin to show yourself the love that you want to feel, the love that you want somebody else to give you. Show it to yourself first. Really begin to be your best friend. Be your best friend, y'all. Really begin to be your best friend. So when you start becoming and being your best friend, it's going to open up the doors to whatever it is that you desire. Now, another thing that I suggest is another thing that I did, because I'm telling y'all stuff that I did, not stuff I read about or stuff I heard about or stuff somebody told me. I'm sharing stuff that I did. So what I did was I sat down and I got a notebook and I wrote out all of the things that I desired in a partner. And I went from inside to outside, really, because one of the things that I said that I wanted in a husband, because I wanted a husband, what I did was I wrote down that I wanted a man that loved God. And I'm not talking about religion at all. Not at all. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about a man that loved God, because I knew that if he loved God, then God would show him how to love me. Because here's the thing, y'all. Everybody has their way that they want to be loved. Everybody has their way that they want to be loved. It's a thing, and everybody doesn't want to be loved in the same way. Just like everybody has a love language. My love language might not be yours. Yours might not be mine. But we all have a love language. And the most important thing is to know what yours is. Know what your love language is. And then when your partner shows up, find out what their love language is, so that you guys are speaking the same language. Like my love language is travel. Now, it's not one of the 5 universal love languages that they talk about, gifts and touch and, spending time and all that kind of stuff. I like all those things too. But my love language is travel, because I love to travel. I just like to go. I've always been that way. And my husband knows that. And he does what he can to help me travel. So a lot of times he'll feel me, and he's intuitive, and I ask God for that too. He's intuitive, and he knows sometimes when I'm feeling icky and when I need to shift my energy, and typically that I do that through traveling. And so he will plan a trip and we'll just go. We'll take a couple of days, a weekend. He works 4 days on, 4 days off. So sometime on his days off, we'll take, 2 or 3 days and go somewhere. But that is because that is my love language, travel. So when you discover what your love language is, then you can share it with the person that you're in love with. Yes. And so as you go forward, you want to take some time out to do some journaling and write down some things so that you don't make the same choices going forward. You might want to connect with God, with source, with the universe, whatever you call him, her, or them, because it's the God of your understanding, not mine. But whatever you call your spiritual team, you might want to consult with them and say, hey, I need some help. Maybe you need to clear your energy. Maybe you need to balance your chakra. Maybe you need to feel some love. Whatever it is for you, whatever you need to do that's going to help you to move forward in life, especially when you're in the middle of a breakup or divorce. And then if you have kids on top of that, that's a whole nother level of shit that you have to deal with, and I'm not really going to go into that at this time. But I wanted to just come on and talk about this because I have been talking to a lot of ladies that have been dealing with this, and men too. I'm not leaving men out, because definitely as you go forward and as you deal with stuff, men deal with stuff as well as women, and I've experienced it because my husband and I both are divorced from other people. So I see it from, that side as well. So I can definitely understand that. However, in order to move forward from it, you really have to take some time and heal. And that is so important. And so many people jump right out of one relationship, right to another one. And that is, you can't do that. I mean, you can do it, but typically it's not going to work out well for you, is what I'm saying. It's not going to work out well because a lot of times you haven't healed from that other one. And this is how women get in relationships, and men too, because men are abused too. This is how people get in relationships where it is abusive, because you're living with this abuse, and that's normal for you. That is normal for you. It's normal that you get your ass beat day, morning, breakfast, noon. It's normal for you. So if you were to live, not like that, it would be different for you and it wouldn't be normal. And so a lot of times what happens is you go and you get the same person that's abusive, and it could be not just abusive physically, but it could be emotionally and mentally abusive, as it was in my case. Not physically, because I think he realized that that wasn't a good thing for him and he was scared. So I didn't have that problem, but mentally and emotionally, yes. And so a lot of times what happens is that is what your normal is. So you get involved with people that are going to be abusive to you when you haven't healed. So what you have to do is you have to really take that time and you have to heal. You have to put yourself in a place of prayer, in a place of meditation, in a place where you are being connected to spirit and your spiritual team. You have to really focus on your growth and your healing, and don't focus on, getting somebody else and all that stuff, because a lot of times, the quickest way to get over one person is to get another person. And that's really a bunch of, that's not true. It's a bunch of crap. And so you don't want to do that. That's the quickest way to ruin your life. And so typically, you want to definitely take some time and understand, because really, divorce and breakup, all that kind of stuff is like grief. It's grief is what it is. It's grief. And there are 5 stages of grief. So I'm going to talk about that in this workshop that I'm doing on Saturday. I think 12 noon I'm doing it until 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. But it's going to be on Meetup. I'm going to drop the link in the the description. in the bio on TikTok, and I'm going to drop the link on Facebook and YouTube in the comments. But it's Saturday, and it's going to be, like I said, 12 noon. It's going to be on my meetup, which is amazing, y'all. Which is amazing, but I'm super excited about it because I'm going to share all about how to heal from divorce. And I'm going to talk, go in deep, and I'm going to share it from my perspective of, how I was able to heal and how I was able to move forward in my life, and how I was able to get, my soulmate showed up to me, and the things, some of the steps, the practical things that I did. And I'm going to talk all about the stages of grief and how we typically go through all the stages, but it's not linear. So it's not like you're going to go through depression, denial, any of that kind of stuff, like in a row. You might go through depression today, and then tomorrow you might go through depression, and then the next day it might be denial, and then next week it might be acceptance. All there are 5 different stages, and so we're going to talk all about that on this workshop that I'm doing, because I really wanted it to be available for people that are dealing with this, because I've actually been talking to a lot of women that have been going through this. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to do this workshop. And it is a free workshop. I'm not charging anything for it, but I just wanted to do it because I knew that people were looking for that, and people need that. People are looking for anything that's going to help them move forward in their life. And so that is why I am here. So I'm super, super excited and super grateful to be before you even today. But I'm definitely excited to be before you on this Saturday for this workshop about divorce and breakup. And I think it's called something like Straight Talk about divorce and breakup healing. At the end of it, I'm going to do a meditation, because that is what I do, because I am a spiritual development coach. But I absolutely love to do anything with meditations, because meditations are fucking amazing. Meditations are amazing. They actually help to move the needle as well in your life. So again, I'm so super excited just to be before you all today. I will probably, no, I won't probably, I'll come on tomorrow as well. I'm going to do some other things tomorrow. Probably do some cards as well. I have my amazing cards that I'm going to share and read with you. So if that's something that you're looking for, especially on TikTok, come and join me tomorrow, and I'll do some guidance, because that is something that I enjoy doing as well. And I know that all of you are loving on that type of thing. And so that is something that I will definitely do. So again, check me out on tomorrow right here on TikTok, probably Facebook and YouTube too, because that's typically how I go live, is on all the platforms at once. And definitely begin to check me out with the Small Business Podcast, Small Business Network Podcast, because that's something that I am starting this week. The Small Business Network Podcast. So I'm super excited to do that. Super excited to be here. Thank you guys for joining. I would appreciate if you're on TikTok, if you'll tap that screen for me and give me some of those likes. I appreciate that, because, that's what it's all about apparently on this platform. But thank you so much for doing that. But yeah, so definitely, if you are in a space where you are trying to move forward in your life, and you have had this breakup or this divorce, and I actually had a young couple where I live at, and they were together, and they were a cute couple. I really liked them. And they split up just recently, after, I think he said 5 years or something. And so it was amazing, because, they were both kind of not wanting to say nothing. And I think I asked the young girl, I said, what's going on? And she shared, and I said, it's okay. And then when I talked to the young guy, he was like, yeah. And I said, it's okay. And I just told him, it's okay. It's okay. I said, because you guys are, sweet people. We like both of you. I said, and we're not, the type of people to turn our back on anybody just because, y'all broke up and all this stuff. No, that don't have nothing to do with me. And I just said, well, the good thing is, if you didn't feel like it was going to work, then it's best to break up before you get married and before y'all had kids and all this other stuff that makes it really difficult and makes it really hard. But I know that it's still difficult when you're in a relationship that long, especially like I think they said 5 years. So if you're in a relationship 5 years and 10 years and 20 years and all that stuff, yeah, that is hard, because you might have had expectations on the relationship, and that's what they did, because they actually were talking about, getting married and having a baby about 6, 7, 8 months ago or something like that. So I don't know what went down with that, and it's not my business, but I just was grateful for them that they figured out that they didn't want to be together before, they did all that stuff, because that is so hard, and they're young. So, they can recover and all that stuff. And not that is, that's not an easy thing. You know what I mean? Just because they're young, and yes, we know that they can recover and all that other kind of stuff. It's not easy, and I would never pretend to say that about anything, because, I've been in relationships. I've been married. I've been in, some long-term relationships. And when I say long-term, I think over a couple of years, stuff like that, and broke up with a few, and, and all this. And so I know that it's not easy, and it is a challenge, and you have to really start nurturing yourself, in this area. You have to start nurturing you, start loving on you, and start knowing who you are, because that's a whole nother level to this. Because a lot of times when you're in a relationship, you get morphed into them. Okay, so a lot of times you get morphed into them, them, him and her, and then what happens is you lose yourself. And so a lot of times, once you get out of these relationships, the divorce, the breakup, whatever, you start figuring out who you are and what it is that you want going forward. And that's something that I experienced. I had to think about it and figure out who was I and what did I want. For me, I moved clear across the country because it was time for me to go. It was time for me to, be who I needed to be. And it was time for me to figure that out, because that was a thing for me. I just did not know really who I was, because I had been at 19, I was somebody's wife. I went to college for a couple of years, and then I was 19 and I was somebody's wife. I was 21, I was somebody's mother. I was 22, I was somebody else's mother. And so, I really feel like parts of me got lost, because, I was all these people, all these people, and I believed in marriage because I watched my grandparents, and I felt like they had the most amazing marriage. And I just, I love that. And that was my motto. And so I felt like that was what I was supposed to have. I was taught and trained and raised to be a good wife, and I was, and I still am, but I am to somebody that appreciates me now, and not somebody that didn't. And so that's one of the things also that you want to definitely look at. You want to definitely look at that. I hear this noise, but I think it's a bus, because I had to think it's 5 o'clock, y'all, and where I am is dark, which is something, which lets me know that winter is here. So it is 5 o'clock, it's dark, because here in the summertime where I live at in the Pacific Northwest, in the summertime it don't get dark till about 10 o'clock. So winter comes and we get the darkness, and yeah. So anyway, so I was hearing this noise. I'm like, what is that noise? But it's I think it's a school bus that's pulling up with a little handicapped girl that lives here, because it pulls like right up in our apartments, which I'm so grateful that we have that, because that's fair for kids that have challenges. So anyway, just recapping. Make sure that if you're going through a divorce, a breakup, or anything like that, that you join me in this workshop that I'm doing on Saturday. If you sign up, which I think you can sign up, I don't even know, but if you can sign up, then you'll get the recording. or I'll send you the link because I think I might just upload it to YouTube, and this way you can get the link. Anyhow, I appreciate all of you for joining me. I thank you for your time. Thank you for tapping on the screen, those of you that tapped. I'll be back on again on tomorrow to talk about some other stuff. I'll probably share a little bit more about this stuff because I know that it is so huge. Because I'm looking at, we're looking at all kinds of different, celebrity couples, which that's a whole nother horse of a different color. But we're looking at all these people that are breaking up and all these people that are wanting to break up. And we all know people that are breaking up. I met a lady that she said she and her husband had gotten divorced after 35 years of marriage. And I thought, wow, that's a long time. That was what I thought. Wow, that's a long time. But yeah, 35 years of marriage and they are breaking up, or they broke up. And I was like, how does that even work? How does that work? But then I thought about it. I was like, it works because they probably were miserable for decades. You just never know. Or, he was a compulsive cheater, gambler, or something like that. And she just got tired. Or it could be vice versa. It could be the other way around. She was abusive and she talked to him any kind of way and all this other kind of stuff. And he got tired. We don't know. But what I do know is that once you make that decision and you split up, then, definitely there is healing that needs to happen. And I believe that if people would stop and get that healing that they need, I think that all of these crazy ass relationships that people get into, that they end up splitting up anyway, and because they never should have got together in the first freaking place. It should have not been. Sometimes it needed to be just a I met you type of thing, but it didn't need to be, we gonna be together, that type of thing. I always believe in sometimes it needs to be just Mr. Right now and not Mr. Forever. Maybe it's just somebody that, you're supposed to go out and talk to, maybe, have some dinner. If you like sports, like I love sports, go watch a game, and I love movies. So, watch movies or whatever, or it might be somebody like that, or it might be just a good friend that you're supposed to have, but not a lover. So, those are things that you have to decide for yourself, things that you have to kind of kick around and see, how that works for you. So all of that, just double checking to see if anybody is commenting on the other platforms, because I'm on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're on here, go to my bio and click on my YouTube channel and subscribe and go watch some videos, because I am building my YouTube channel. I have over 1,000 videos on there. I think as I speak right now, I think I'm about on 1,001, the one that's happening right now. So go on my YouTube channel, click on my bio, go on YouTube and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I come on with new videos, such as the one that is on right about now. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for joining me. I will definitely be back on again tomorrow. We're going to talk about some more stuff. Spiritual development is what typically I talk about, because I love to help people in that area. I love people to help them to open up their gifts and to understand who they are and all of this kind of stuff. So if that is you are looking for that type of support, reach out to me. You could also watch videos, because I have lots of them on this channel, as well as my other channel, Intuitive Guidance by Tammy. But I have lots of different stuff that you can watch and listen to and learn. I really do try to do a lot of teaching so that people can get what they need. All right. So again, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for joining me. I hope everything is lovely in your world. It's magical in mine. So I will meet you here tomorrow, probably somewhere around this time, because this time is good for me. Again, thank you for joining. Bye now.